Formula One, and wow, phew, what a crazy race it was! It was an amazing race. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, Before the start of the race, obviously it was raining for quite a long time actually. But then before the race was going to start, it actually started to run out and started to become more dry. However, and you look at the top eight or the top 10, all went for soft tires, except one team, and that one team is the current defending constructor champion and the current defending drivers champion. Guess who? McLaren. Why they could keep why do they keep doing this to themselves? Listen, you can. Miami, where they arguably Lando should have won that race. And now this. Now, and listen, Miami, you could give them a bit of an excuse because that was different in Miami because you didn't know when it was going to rain or not, but and you don't want to look silly and so on. But this one, they look massively idiots. They look like absolute idiots because you put two drivers on inters and the others you put softs. Yes, I'm not saying our drivers didn't put on inters like Hulkenberg and so on, put on inters. But if you look at the big teams like Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, they didn't put on they put on slicks, and you put on you put on what inters. Absolutely terrible, absolutely embarrassing. Oh, medium, sorry, medium, my mistake. But like absolutely idiotic from McLaren. How many times are they going to keep making these kind of mistakes? How many times? Qatar last season, Vegas last season. I don't know. Hungary 2024, Monza 2024. How many times are we going to keep seeing them making this kind of silly mistakes? Like they started making this kind of mistakes where I think it was from Canada 2024, where Lando arguably should have won that race if it wasn't for the safety car. And now this, like, absolutely embarrassing from McLaren. Like they've absolutely embarrassed themselves. Like it even surprised me even more that Lando took the lead in the first lap. Like the guy took the lap from the guy took the lead from Russell and from Antonelli in the first lap, despite on inters. And I didn't know how. Obviously, he had to still pit after that, even though he got in first position. He had to pit after that because you cannot run on intermediate to you cannot put on intermediate tires in a dry condition. And even Piastri before the race started in a formation lap, Piastri was telling to the team, "I'm not sure this is the right solution. I'm not sure this is the right decision," and so on and so on. But McLaren like, no, 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 no. We won two constructors in a row. We won the drivers' championship last season. Respect us. We know everything because that's what they were. They were stubborn. And you look at McLaren this season, the amount of mistakes they've been doing in terms of reliability and strategy. They've been complacent. Just because you won two constructors in a row and you won the driver championship doesn't mean you are all of a sudden the best in everything. You know everything. No, yeah, okay, you won the drivers and the constructors, but that's the past. It's about what you do now. And this season, McLaren have been making so many silly mistakes. The upgrades didn't work this weekend as well. How many times? Like how many times we're gonna keep seeing this mistakes? Because it's clearly the people at McLaren who keep making these kind of decisions, likes of Andrea Stella, the likes of Tom Stallard, the likes of Will Joseph, and so on. They don't learn. They don't learn from the past mistakes, and this race showed that they don't learn from the past mistakes. Why is he putting intermediate tires? Like how can he be so clueless? How can he be that so dumb? When you won the two constructors in a row and you won the drivers and you be that dumb. I'm sorry, it's so stupid, absolutely so stupid. And they absolutely farmed them themselves. And then Lando, he had to recover. Piastri had to recover. Piastri crashed into the back of Albon. They got a 10-second time penalty for that, which was the right decision. But I don't blame him for that because this kind of things would not happen if we don't put him in the right tire from the start. And when you are P17, P16, you're trying to overtake as quickly as possible. You don't want to, overtake. You don't want to spend too much time behind those cars who are you are much faster than them. So I understand why Piastri took that risk, even though it's a bad mistake. I don't know. I understand why he went for that risk. And McLaren put in that situation. Let's be honest. And Lando, he had to recover, and overcome game positions. And then he had to pit because of the reliability issue. And then he had to overtake and again. And then he was lapped by two Mercedes cars. And then he tried to go again and again. And then he had another reliability issue or a gearbox issue. And now he's DNF'd. Like how many issues? Reliability issues, strategy issues, gearbox issues, many issues, power unit issues. How many times we see this? How many times we've seen this from McLaren this season? Like, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm not saying. Of course, there's going to be mistakes in a new regulation change, but you cannot make this. There's so many amount of mistakes. Mercedes the only mistake they made in terms of power unit reliability was the Russell, which I'm going to talk about. Other than that, they've been mostly consistently good in terms of reliability and strategy, whereas McLaren have been absolutely the opposite. You know, and I feel sorry for Lando because he had a good start, a great start, even though he had to pit. He had a great start, and he had to gain position again and again. He's driving this season. Lando Norris' driving this season has been absolutely fantastic. But the problem is he's being screwed by his team over reliability issues and car issues and strategy issues. And the same thing also for Piastri as well, even though he's made some mistakes as well. So again, a very, very bad day at the office for McLaren, and they are now because of Lando Norris, losing points, and Oscar Piastri and McLaren generally not scoring any points. They are now what so many. They're now so many points behind Mercedes. They're falling behind again and again, and Lando and Oscar is falling behind and again by Kimi, who just won. And speaking of Kimi Antonelli, congratulations for his win, and that's his fourth consecutive win in a row. Fantastic win for Kimi Antonelli. Brilliant performance. Amazing performance. Fantastic win. Four wins in a row. He's in the form of his life. Absolutely fantastic for Antonelli, and he had to really work for it. And people will look at this and say, "Oh, Antonelli won four in a row. Yeah, boring." No, but he had to work for those four wins. The first win, where obviously he was overtaken by Hamilton, but then he went past him very quickly and he won comfortably. But in Japan, where he had a very poor start and Piastri was looking very strong, and yes, he got a bit lucky with the safety car, but then after that he showed great pace and won the race comfortably. Miami, where he was not at his best, but he managed to win against Norris. This race as well, where he didn't win for pole position. I think that's the key thing here, that he didn't win for pole position. He won where he didn't win for pole position. He won where he didn't get pole position, I should say, and that's the key. It's about it's easy to do it when you are in first, but it's about how you do it when you are second, third, or fourth. And he did it fantastically well, Antonelli. Brilliant performance. He overtook Russell, and obviously it was a great battle between him and George Russell. Great fight. I mean, it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was an amazing fight, fantastic fight. I really, really enjoyed it between these two. Listen, the inevitable will happen. The inevitable will happen that at some point they keep fighting like this. That will result in a crash. We saw it in some glimpse of it in in the sprint where Antonelli was fuming, and in this race it was a great fight, fair fight, great fighting, and I'm pretty sure Toto Wolff enjoyed it, even though he was quite nervous in the pit wall. But great fight, great fight. I really enjoying these two fighting, Kim Antonelli and George Russell. Brilliant fight, back and forth, back and forth. Russell was passed, and then Antonelli was passed, and then George Russell made that mistake in that. That turn chicane, not chicane, but like the turn where you obviously you make a U-turn. I think it's turn 9, 10, turn 10, something like that. And he made a mistake, and then Antonelli capitalized on it, and he overtook him on the straight line speed. Fantastic overtake for Antonelli. It was back and forth, like I said. And then Russell was overtook him again, and then he was ahead, and then he went over the Antonelli. He overtook Russell, but he went over the chicane, and then he obviously had to give back the position because Bono told him to do it, and it was the right decision. But then Russell, he went he went into the chicane, he went off the track, and then because of that, Antonelli overtook him, and Russell, despite he went over the track, it resulted in a power unit issue. So yeah, a great fight between these two. It's a shame that the fight ended with the reliability issue from Russell, because I would have loved to have seen this fight continue for another 30 20 laps. But yeah, it was a great fight between these two. Fantastic fight. It's seeing between George and Kimi. Kimi deserved to win. Congratulations to him. Yes, obviously it was not easy, and Kimi and George also was fantastic. Not only Kimi, but Kimi, he had to really work for it, and it was not easy. And yes, you could say George had he was unlucky because of the power unit issue, but he also went over the chicane. So he was constantly, even though George had a power unit issue, Kimi was constantly putting him under pressure, constantly putting him under pressure. It's not like George Russell stayed in first position and then he went on to dominate. No, Kimi kept putting him on under pressure, under pressure, under pressure, under pressure, under pressure. Fantastic, fantastic performance from Kimi. Brilliant performance. And yeah, that's 4 wins in a row. And then after that, when Russell DNF'd, it was very comfortable for him with a win after that. So brilliant win for Antonelli. He's now 43 points ahead of George Russell. Is the championship over? Listen, the championship is not over. Still a lot of races to come. There's still many things. It's a long way to go. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. But Kimi is looking very strong. Kimi is looking very, very strong. He's performing fantastically well. He's in the best form of his life. And obviously, this in a sprint, you saw some a bit of immaturity. But in this race, he showed that he learned from the mistakes he did in the sprint. He learned from it fantastically well. That's what Kimi is. Kimi is really good. Even though he makes mistakes, he's able to do really well in terms of learning from those mistakes and making sure that he doesn't do this kind of mistakes next time. Even though he still made mistakes, but I mean he did a great ability, a great job in learning from those mistakes and make sure he doesn't do it in the race. So yes, there are still mistakes here and there from Kimi. Yes, in the European season is there to come. Well, obviously last season he was very poor in it, but if he keeps this run of great form, if he's still humble and he doesn't get complacent, he's still performing really well and doesn't think too much about the championship, even though he's 43 points ahead. He keeps thinking like, I want to win the race. I don't want to win the race. Even if I lose 7 points to George Russell, I'm upset. Even though I have a great lead over George, because I still want to win to win. If he doesn't think about the championship and he keeps like going race by race by race by race and keeps focusing on winning race by race by race, and he keeps performing the way he's doing right now, he has a great a chance to win the championship. Obviously, there's still doubts about him, experience, mistakes that he makes, of course, and the European season. How is he going to do it? Last season he flopped in it. How is he going to do this time? So, fantastic performance from Kimi Antonelli, and congratulations for winning another race. Unlucky for George Russell. I thought he was, him and Antonelli was a great fight. And for George Russell to had a DNF like that, it's a similar moment to Lando where he faced in Zambo, where he was 34 points behind Piastri after that when he had that DNF, and Lando managed to recover and come back. So I think this moment for Russell, where he obviously DNF and it was because of the power unit issue, it will make him stronger. It will make him stronger, and it will make him better, and it will make him fired up, and it will make him for sure motivated and put good runs in the upcoming races. Because this race, yes, you could say it's a circuit characteristic, and you could say, oh, it's only because George is strong in Canada. But this weekend, he was much stronger than he was in Miami and Japan. He was much more competitive for the win compared to Antonelli. So if he keeps this level of great performance and he keeps improving, then he will start winning races and again and again. And who knows, one DNF can change everything. One DNF can completely change everything. So it's not over. Kimi is having a fantastic start of the season, but it's a long way to go. Long way to go. So I'm pretty sure Antonelli, pretty sure Russell will come back even though he had this DNF. And it was also a great fight between Hamilton and Verstappen. Hamilton finished second, Verstappen finished third. They got on a podium. First P2 for Hamilton and Ferrari. First podium for Verstappen this season. Great fight, obviously, between Hamilton and Verstappen. Because, obviously Hamilton was not easy to overtake Verstappen. And I'm pretty sure he didn't want to risk it too much because, obviously, he knows sometimes Verstappen can make some problems, as he knows in 2021 season. But he overtook him fantastically in that turn one or before turn one. And despite Hamilton overtook him, Verstappen was still competitive with him. So it was a great fight between these two fantastic drivers, amazing drivers, the best of the business in the history of Formula One, alongside Michael Schumacher, Senna, and so on. So fantastic fight. And yeah, great performance. Yeah, and Antonelli another win, podium for Hamilton and for Verstappen. Great, fantastic race. I really, really enjoyed it. It was, you could say, it was arguably the best race of the season. You could really genuinely say that it was really that good. Lawson performed really well. He finished P7, despite he had a difficult qualifying. Behrman 10th, with Science ninth, Gasly 8th as well. So great performance from them as well. So yeah, and congratulations to Antonelli and congratulations to Hamilton and Verstappen. Hajar fifth and Leclerc fourth as well. That's it, guys. Thank you. I wish you have a nice day. See you next time and goodbye.